Trials in its current state actively incentivizes players to break the core gameplay loop. I believe it undermines the ethos of Arc Raiders, and as a formal endgame system, it detracts from the player experience. Later in this video, I'll expand on how I think Trials can be improved and why I actually think it should be replaced. Once players have upgraded their workshops, completed their quests, finished the deck, constructed the expedition caravan, and hit max level, Trials is the most significant system incentivizing continued play outside of just love for the game. One could argue collecting blueprints is the true endgame, but that's another topic and criticism for another day. If you are planning on actively participating in Trials, here's some things you must do. Rely on external tools and websites to plan around map conditions and events. Join a party of 2 other players, as achieving the highest scores on the leaderboard requires group XP. Abuse game mechanics and systems by hoarding snitch scanners and or camping arc spawns. Constantly attend to your placement on the leaderboard and prepare for falling in placement on the weekends. Progress any trial objective to be placed in the league each week, and make enough progress as to not receive a demotion. After 4 weeks of participation, I consider Trials as the most significant detriment to my enjoyment of Arc Raiders. I can enjoy the game without Trials, but since it's available, I feel compelled to participate. At this point, the only thing keeping me playing is love for the game, and I've determined it's actually better for your Trials rank to play Arc Raiders as little as possible. Placing in a league early in the week ensures you'll be placed with equally excited, likely unemployed, challenge-seeking players who will attempt all week to contend for your position. Vying for the top position is a constant battle of timing around map conditions, resetting against late spawns, contesting best locations to abuse arc spawns, avoiding interaction with other raiders, and maintaining stash equipment reserves to continue doing this over and over. As the system only requires a few star-studded raids, you can stop playing Arc Raiders all week to avoid league placement, and then push objectives in a much easier, I only have time to play this game on the weekends league on Saturday. I can confirm the strategy is successful thanks to the data I collected during the inevitable holiday vacations for Thanksgiving. I started placement in my Wildcard 1 league on Monday, and by Wednesday, I was contending against leaderboard scores upwards of 130k. Whereas my friends started placement in their Wildcard 1 league on Saturday, and they were contending against scores of only 60k. For the same rank and the same rewards, we had vastly different levels of competition. Right now, players subvert Arc's power by abusing spawns and locations in trivial raids where they sit atop buildings, aggroing all the Arc to their location and eliminate them in 30 minutes. The greatest risk to this endeavor is extract camping. It's hardly a measure of skill for a competitive PvEVP system. I'm competing against other players to prove I'm better at ruining game immersion? Weird. The system extends to non-participants as well, ruining their gameplay experience. Many times, I've been in raids where another group of raiders is completely handling the threat of Arc because they've aggroed them all for a high score. I guess it was nice to loot and travel around without fear, aside from other raiders, but it felt wrong. The system feels wrong. Trials shows me that I want a completely different system, and that survival is enough competition, and I need a cooperative system. I have multiple recommendations, and not all of them line together, but I believe most of them will improve the experience. First, I'll share some general feedback about the current competitive system that I think will help improve it, and then I'd like to share about how Embark might pivot to something completely better for the long-term health of the game. Number 1, placements should be separated by party size. Solos should not be competing against trios. It's simple math. Number 2, late spawns shouldn't exist. While it's not a trials system, in the context of a competitive kill as many robots as you can with your allotted time system, it doesn't make sense. The strategy of resetting 8 times in a row because the game keeps spawning me at 19 minutes is not fun, especially when I only have an hour for a specific map condition and I queued up with an absolutely juiced loadout. Number 3, no demotion brackets. Sure, if my score is 0 by the end of the time frame, strip me of my title, spank me, and steal my cosmetic. But if I played your silly little competitive PvE system at least a little bit, don't punish me. Losing out on rewards is enough of a punishment. Number 4, 10 days or 2 weeks. 7 days is not enough, especially when you factor in work, sleep, family, and friends on top of a rolling time frame map condition system. I understand Trials is currently aligned with the expected season duration, allowing for some players to achieve a perfect season and gain the highest rank, so maybe a more global change to seasons is required. Number 5, make it region ranked. While region rankings would broaden the competition and make it more difficult for players to achieve the top 30, 20, and 10% of their league, it would at least make it fair so that players don't purposely enter leagues late. Maybe this isn't the best solution, but the late entry strategy needs to be solved, and it can be abused. It undermines the value of the top 100. even if the top 100 is only proof that you're great at breaking the game. Now, I want to share my perspective on the long term of ARC Raiders. And before I do, you're probably asking, why the heck should I listen to this guy? I'll start off by saying that playing ARC Raiders has been the most enjoyable gaming experience I've had in years. I have very little hours in other extraction shooters, and I also think that Tarkov is one of the worst gaming experiences I've ever had. I felt like making this video because I have a passion for well-designed games, especially the lesser realized systems within them, and I love that Embark was able to make the extraction genre work for me. I think there's something special about the game, but what makes it special also poses its greatest challenge. ARC Raiders has a player persona problem, and I think this is a result of Embark pivoting during development. At its conception, the appeal of ARC Raiders was getting players to work together against a common enemy set in an immersive world, a cross between Shadow of Colossus, Left 4 Dead, and PUBG. Embark shared that it needed something more, something to pace the game better, and they arrived at an extraction shooter. An extraction adventure. The core gameplay loop is great, and it was obviously the right decision to add PvP to the game. PvP is the pace, PvP is the fear, PvP is the risk. It's additive tension while raiding. And even if it never happens during the raid, the threat fills the gameplay experience constantly. Now, how does this play into my opinion of Trials and the long-term direction of the game? The game deserves something better than a competitive number goes up objective list each week, something evolved and lived by the community. This isn't a game of leaderboards and accolades, it's a game of experiences. Trials is not an experience. Trials is tone deaf. As I said before, it antagonizes players to break the experience. Trials undermines the sauce of the game. The soul of ARC Raiders is survival and cooperation. Competition and betrayal make it that much better, but those pillars will not be what carries this game for years to come. I think Trials needs to be replaced for a cooperative system, and I actually think the answer for multiple problems within the extraction genre lies in one cohesive, narrative-driven solution. It took ARC Raiders to help me realize why I've always been resistant to the genre. It's because at the end of the day, with a stash full of loot and objectives completed, I'm still empty. People back in Speranza may be calling me hotshot because I sat on top of Pilgrim's Peak for 30 minutes each week throwing snitch scanners during a storm, but what did it matter? Experiencing the Stella Montis unlock, completing my expedition caravan, doing trader quests, exploring new areas, fighting the Queen and the Matriarch, bumping into a shredder for the first time, getting revived by strangers, all of these experiences need to culminate to something larger than a repeated weekly list of abusing game systems. It needs to be capstoned by massive cooperation, rewards for contributing, title for actual achievement, and events to look forward to. I'd even like to see these tied to massive community contributions and forced wipes. Once a month, spawn me and 30 other idiots on the dam for a PvE only experience where we all have to take down 5 queens at the same time. Buried City, where ARC has upped its security, all flying ARC are upgraded to Rocketeers. The Apocalypse, every room and every building is occupied by a pop waiting to get you. Call it the Truce Trials. Raiders make a truce not to kill each other during these specific events. After all, we spend weeks in kill or be killed situations in a world where the real enemy is ARC. Sure, we get some loot, maybe commemorative accolades, but the shared experience is the reward. Obliterating ARC for 30 minutes for the chance at some blueprints and maybe a rank up each week is not fun. ARC Raiders deserves more. Embark should rethink leading ARC Raiders towards leaderboards and competition. I say that while also being a highly competitive player. I love to win, but ARC Raiders shows me I want to win something better.